Ah, Nvidia, I knew you were gonna actually go this far. Oh my. I've always have a bad blood when it comes to DLSS, okay? Nvidia newest technology that actually allows to make the game more sloppier than ever. Even though it runs perfectly much more better, gives out a better frames, with like the fake frames and that they call it. But honestly, in my eyes, I always see DLSS as a way to make developers go lazy. In my eyes, without a doubt, they go lazy. I'm so sorry if I'm actually pronunciation is actually off the beat because I just woke up. So do give me some space, cut me some slack before I'm about to cut my own self with like all this slackness, or because AI has been actually going around and putting it into the minds of developers, thinking like it's a next gen technology, when in reality it's a next gen of them to become lazy. I've always hated the OSS because look at Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wild is a game that actually really is encourage people to be really, really focused on DLSS. Even developers actually say, hey, you should turn on DLSS, it's a great technology. When in reality, you're just lazy to optimize the game. That's it. It's not a good thing. It's not a really ideal way of doing it, okay? Therefore, it brings me to this situation where DLSS 5 is actually being released by Nvidia. What does this actually update have anything more special than the previous DLSS? I'll tell you what, they have an AI powered breakthrough in visual fidelity for games. Oh, did they add more like fake frames in it? No, they add Gen AI to generate the fucking pixels so that it can actually make the game look more sloppier as like any AI of arts, okay? This is bullshit. This is stupid in my own eyes. You cannot just do that when you're actually replacing with a whole new entire new art that has been actually been given by an artist. What the fuck? What the frick, man? I did say like in the previous video I was gonna actually stop using F-bomb, but this one you have to give me an exception to express myself because of how dumb this is, okay? NVIDIA DLSS has been non-stopping for actually making the overpriced GPU into a $2,000 graphic card so that they can actually make a DLSS where they allow developers to be as the lazy as possible and still somehow makes you pay $70 for them. Now in my eyes, it like there is technology to be actually care for here. DLSS, it's great, but DLSS 5 is an exception. It's an insult to anybody who makes the game, and I can't actually express myself how bad it is. Let me give you a little bit of special video editing here. So I'm gonna show you before and after here in this whole entire segment. So I'm gonna show you what looks for DLSS off version of Grace, and then here you are, and I'm gonna let it open with the DLSS, and then bam! What is that abomination? What is that? That is not Grace. That's Maria. Oh Lord have mercy, that's Maria Ashcroft. I don't think I recognize that as Grave at all. Oh, that's not gonna be actually enough for you? Now let me show off Leon. Leon, bam! Oh, okay, that's our pretty daddy boy over there. Yeah, all right. Now turn it on, bam! Oh God, that's James Cameron. Oh dear God, I can't even tell if that's actually Leon. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit overrated for that. Actually, overreacting, and like telling you that like that doesn't look like any character that looks like before. But you know what I mean, because most of these pictures actually looks like they're not actually from the game. They don't actually look good. Because you know why also doesn't look good? There's a lady who is actually from Hogwarts Legacy before and then after. Bam! This is actually really bad. I'm sorry. This is actually pretty kind of abomination. Like, what is that? That old lady actually got through like a plastic surgery or something? What is going on with that? And you think Capcom is not the only one who's actually doing this shit? Don't even get me started with Bethesda. Todd Howard. Actually, let me show you before and then after. Oh, here comes a special one. All right, all right, all right. Before and then after. They look more sloppier than ever. I am not gonna joking. This is how they look like in a game. It's like you try to actually enforce the AI slops. We've already gone through about the AI slops this whole entire time. And most of the AI arts are slops. Most of them are actually not good. Most of them are actually not really that creative. It's so bad that I just really don't care about it. And that's why I actually turn my mind off when it comes to DLSS. And because I knew this actually is a thing. And don't get me wrong, Nvidia is something that I don't like how they do, but I hated them more when developers are actually saying that this is actually a good idea. Capcom, have you learned nothing from Monster Hunter Wilds? Monster Hunter Wilds was such a shit game because it runs like dog shit, and you actually rely so much on DLSS, dude. Fuck you. And the reason why you were able to make a bunch of money from Monster Hunter Wild was because that IP is a very successful IP for people who loves the game. Okay, when I bought Monster Hunter Wild, it makes me a fan for Monster Hunter Wild to be turned down. I hated it, and not because of the game is shit. It's because I know what does the division of from the developers are supposed to be when it comes to optimization. I know that from the very beginning. Okay, and I'm gonna say right now to for the people who watch my streams, I told you so. I fucking told you so that they're actually going to be going in this way where like they're going to make it lazier and lazier. This is not a revolutionary. It's a laziness revolutionary. Okay? Other than that, okay? Bethesda, Todd Howard, buddy. Todd Howard literally said this is actually a breath of fresh air for Starfield to look better. Buddy, the breath of fresh air that is needed right now is our game engine to actually make it much more bearable to play for Starfield. Your Starfield game is so outdated, even making the game looks better doesn't actually justify the fact that the game is actually still dog shit. Okay? Can we actually agree that the graphic fidelity is has nothing to do with the fucking game itself? Can we just put that as a separate matter just to actually like make it as a game that is actually such a solely an idea for making the game, you know, playable or buyable for people to play the game, okay? It's not worth it, okay? And you know what's even actually crazier is that if you want to make a game actually crazily look good, how about I just give it an idea? Art direction. Focus on that. Make the art direction of the game as good as possible. It doesn't have to be high fidelity. Look at most of the Dark Souls games. Dark Souls games are actually dog shit with the graphic fidelity, but I don't care. The gameplay is good, and also I will talk about the gameplay over story. I want to talk about that in the next video. But also, the art direction for that game is phenomenal. I will use Dark Souls 3 as the best example when it comes to like art direction. Art Elden Ring is there without a doubt. Okay, it's there without a doubt. It's so good. Every From Software game is so respectfully good, but DLSS 5 really made the game look sloppier than ever. People has been focusing on the wrong idea of like making the games good on where they should focus on. It's not what it is ideal for. All right, DLSS 5 it's a hot garbage. And don't even get me started with like how the Digital Foundry, a game journalist who actually praises this as actually really good technology when they actually praises Crimson Desert for actually being a really independent game with their own independent game engine that is away from Unreal Engine 5. People were praising from Digital Foundry, okay? They were praising non-stop. And now like, I'm seeing like they praise it for DLSS 5 Gen AI bullshittery? What is that? And then like it makes more sense the fact that I saw one of the people from Digital Foundry. They said like they didn't know this was actually a thing, but like regardless, still this is actually a thing that I really have to think about. You really have to think about because, like, if you can't actually figure it out why DLSS 5 is a bad thing, I think you need to actually start reevaluating your value for art, okay? Or like at least reevaluating for what does how the game works. You need to understand how does the making a game actually works, and because of this, it will get worse. It will get worse from here because developers will actually take this advantage for people who doesn't want to actually optimize their games because that also costs for the game's making as well because optimizing a game for like specific game parts is also not a really easy thing as well. I totally get that. Still, readily understandable. But like, you can tell it does cost money, and some game developers will probably cut that one out and like make it cheaper. And then retrospective, it's not only the artist, even the concept artist is not safe as well. They will probably get replaced by Gen AI. How like they're probably going to actually just use it to actually produce some concept arts or something like that, and you can actually from there you can actually just imagine what is the future going to be for all of these people to lose their job against AI. From there you really have to actually think about it. You can be imaginative, so I will actually hope you can actually understand why I'm mad about this and why you should be mad at this as well, and still it will forces you to actually pay for it for $70. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, I think like that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stop yapping here. Hope you have a lovely day, have a lovely night. Sayonara, suckers. Peace.